Hello. So this one is the Enrich activity, and it's kind of a real world application of when we would need to use adding and subtracting fractions. And it's all about cooking class. So this would be something, if you were in foods class, you would definitely use this, or at home when you're cooking, following recipes, especially kind of those baking recipes that have very specific amounts of ingredients. So, go ahead and read it to you, and then you can get started. So before beginning a recipe, you want to check if your pantry is like where you keep your food, to see if you have the ingredients that you need. And then make a shopping list so you can get all the groceries that you need once you go to the store. So, our little story. So Raul and Elizabeth have been invited to brunch at a friend's house and have been asked to bring muffins. They decided to bake blueberry muffins and banana nut muffins together at Elizabeth's house for the brunch. All right, so down below here, you're given the two recipes. So the recipe for the blueberry muffins and the banana nut muffins. So those are all the ingredients that you need for both. And then over here on this side, this is showing us what she has in her pantry right now. So how much of each of those ingredients she has. Okay. So some of them, right, she doesn't have any of the ingredients. Some of the ingredients she has some, but might not have enough. So the first question number 1 says, how much of each ingredient will Raul and Elizabeth need to make both recipes? So this is kind of a big question, right? We're looking at every single ingredient in all of them, and we want to know how much total do we need. So if we wanted to know, there's flour in both, right? How much flour do we need total? We would be adding up those numbers, right? So we're going to add together each single ingredient. Right? So then we also have sugar in both, right? So we would add together those sugars. So we would know how much sugar do we need total to make both recipes. Then we have baking powder in this one and no baking powder in the other one. So the baking powder, you don't have to do anything, right? We know it's only going to be in this recipe here, right? Only in this recipe. Then we have salt and salt, right? We need both of those. So we would add those together. Then we have milk. So we check, do we have milk in our other recipe? Nope, don't have milk, so we don't have to worry about that one. And then we have vegetable oil and vegetable oil. So those we would need to add together, right? Because those two we have only in both recipes, right? And then we would look for our next one. So we've got eggs here and eggs here. So we would need to add those together. And then we have some single ingredients. So we got fresh blueberries. That one only shows up in this recipe. Ripe bananas and chopped walnuts only show up in that recipe. And then also in this recipe, only baking soda, right? We don't have baking soda in the other. So both of them that we're comparing that we have in both recipes, we need to add together. So that's the step 1 for question 1. Question 2 says, which ingredients will we need to purchase? So in this one, we're going to compare our list with the stuff in the recipe or in the pantry. So compare with pantry amounts. So back to here, right, we're going to look at what she has in her pantry and see, do we have enough sugar based on how much sugar we needed, right? So we added up our sugar, hopefully in step 1. So we want to know, do we have enough? Okay. Then we would have, salt, right? So same thing, we added up our salts. Do we have enough salt? Okay. In this step, you're comparing ounces, pounds, and then with like cups, teaspoons, that kind of thing. So if you need help with that comparison, that's what Miss Davies is here for, okay? Question number 3 says, for some ingredients, Raul and Elizabeth may have to buy more than they need depending on the size of the packages they can find at the store. Of the ingredients on their list, which one might be able to buy only as much as they need? So we want to know, like some stuff only comes in like a big bag, right? Like flour, we can only buy in a big bag. Salt only comes in a big, like a little container. Okay, so we want to know which of the ingredients that we said we need to buy, so some of the stuff from step one up there, which can we buy like individually? So kind of think about which ones are going to be individually packaged. Individual. Okay. And then question number 4 says, why would Raul and Elizabeth never use the combined amounts when preparing their ingredients? Okay, so think through kind of the amounts, the like weird fractions that you ended up with in step 1, and see like which ones would we be able to measure and which ones might we not be able to measure, because they just don't really make sense with cups and, teaspoons and half teaspoons and stuff like that. All right, good luck.